Alex Huard.
Evening there, Jensen. Jenny.
What?
Pretty good, man. I'm often curious when I call you Jenny in the chat if people think I'm actually addressing a Jenny in the audience.
Jenny,
I'm
don't
not.
lose. What's that song? 8675309.
Oh, yeah. I just know that part.
Jenny's
8675309. Yeah, you know what's funny is sometimes there's like memes or stuff like that come up with that song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was an actual number in Sudbury. The exchange was 867.
No
My
way.
exchange was 869, yeah. My number was 869-2227. And that number was 869 or 8675309. That was an actual Sudbury number for real. And people called it like crazy, as you can
All the
imagine.
time.
Oh yeah.
So do I have to like blank that out? Should I blank that out? Are people going to take that phone number and try and call it? Or is that phone number out of commission? Are we? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, you come back on the next episode. Let us know who answered the phone call to that number.
Jenny.
And Jenny. Right. Jenny.
It's got to be Jenny.
It has to be. There's nobody else. So yeah. Wow. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Anyways, that's just, you said that what was it? A teacher of yours called you Jenny?
No, my first corporate job ever. One of the bosses called me Jenny all the time.
Jenny. Yeah. That's why I do it.
He was an older guy. Jenny, come here, Jenny. And I have to go into his office and he would say things I won't share.
Anybody with a voice like that always has something they shouldn't share.
He was a funny dude.
Oh, that's good. Nice.
Yeah. That was just a young
that's where
man
I got it from. Yeah, I remember you telling me that story, so that's where I got it from. Just in case folks are wondering, that's the origin story right there.
There you go. There
we is. Yeah, man.
Are you ready to eat a peach?
I don't know if I should say that. Can I say that? I'm ready to eat a peach?
Oh, I blew your whole thing.
No, that's okay.
I blew your whole segue.
It's all right.
Game.
I don't think there was a... You're just trying to get it on the action. Yeah. You trampled all over my peach. This doesn't sound good though. It doesn't say eat a peach, trampled on my peach. None of that sounds very, but yes, I did eat a peach these last couple weeks and I'm ready to talk about it.
So
I'm ready
many
to talk about this one. Yeah.
Isn't, you know, those not emojis, but like those little symbols.
Yeah, they're emojis.
The peach is supposed to be like not what we. I don't want to get into this stuff.
I mean, it's funny. I mean, people use it in like a nice bum where you're from type of way.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now
that's it. Correct.
But I think the peach described a different part of the anatomy when this album was recorded. I do.
Yes. Or just
right?
that was maybe where I was thinking.
You.
I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking about, but I was also just thinking, well, they're from Georgia, or they're not from Georgia, but when they were in Georgia, that's what you would eat a peach. So,
well, it actually comes. Yeah. There's a reason for it. So it was Dwayne Allman, who's the leader of the band, who said he was very anti-war. And he said, every time I'm in Georgia, I eat a peach for peace.
Eat a peach for peace.
To an interview. An interviewer who asked him about his stance on revolution and what was going on back then.
Yeah, revolution, not evolution, or something like that, or evolution, not revolution, something along those lines. Yeah, yeah. It just briefly on the whole emoji and everything where your mind goes thing. It's just like, it's terrible these days. Like you just like, I don't know about you, but people's minds, it's like, you can't say anything. You can't be like just in terms of like, you could even just say, I shoved that in the hole over there. It's like people like right away, people are like, It's like, well, that's what I did. That's exactly what happened. But I had to plug it. So yeah, it's just like those little things, and it's you can't say those. anything appropriately anymore.
Oh man,
so,
I know.
But and I'm not even talking like people who are, too triggered. I'm just like, even me, my mind goes, places that I don't mean for it to go, but I'm like, if I say that, what's the implication going to be? Because I really just mean, anyways.
I know. And like right now, I'm not saying them, but I'm thinking about all this. Like, there's a lot of funny stuff going on in my mind right now that I can't verbalize.
See, and now it's getting to the point where it doesn't matter how old you are anymore. It used to be like, oh, you're so immature. It's like, no, okay, that's just the way it is now. Okay, everybody just thinks immaturely. And I don't know.
You're still a relatively young man. You're young 30s.
I'm very immature too. So a lot of people that can attest to that. So,
no shame in that game, my friend.
What am I supposed to do? I got 2 kids. I got a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. Okay. All it is potty talk around here. All right. Like I can't help it. So, anyways, so I just wanted to mention that we're all just jaded. We everybody's minds have gone to crap now. So
that's true.
Thank you, social media, for that. But anyways, Eat a Peach, the Allman Brothers. Yes. This has got to be a classic album. Talk to me. Tell me why you brought it.
This is kind of I thought the Allmans are an important band, and they're kind of in tune with what we're doing lately. But also, this is probably their most important record, I think. It wasn't their breakthrough because their live record was their breakthrough before that. But it's also a very unique record in the sense that it's kind of almost a Frankenstein work, because there's studio songs, but there's live songs. There's a reason for that. There's a couple of reasons for that, but it's a very odd record. There are things that I don't like about it. There are things that I love about it. But I thought that of all the Allman Brothers catalog, this was probably them at their creative apex. And this is why I brought it to you. Nice.
Mm-hmm. I found out very recently to recording this episode, and in relativity to the day we are recording this, I found out 3 days ago that Duane Allman was killed during the recording of this album. I had no idea as I listened to it over the couple of weeks that I had that this was that happened during this album. Yeah, I didn't look it up. I guess clearly I didn't look it up. So it was interesting to find out about that and kind of made me understand the track listing a little bit more. Kind of made a little more sense.
It explains the entire record, really.
Yeah.
And a lot of the lyrics on the album, the motivation behind the album, the way forward for the band, like all that stuff. And what's really interesting as an aside, the bass player, whose name was Barry Oakley, died just over a year later, the same way, on a motorcycle, in the same town, Macon, at the same age, 24 years old.
Wow.
Crazy, eh?
That is crazy. He took it pretty hard. Hey, he took the death of Duane Allman really hard. He had hit severe depression following that,
and a heroin habit as well.
Oh, that was par for the course back in those days. But
but that band in particular, just a tragic, almost like a parable. Their story, because they were like this kind of hardworking band who toured and they had a couple of records that they put out and didn't do well. And then Live the Fillmore came out and did really well. And literally one of them said, I can't remember which one, they said within 3 or 4 weeks, we went from like poverty to, having all kinds of money. And it was
big
just
old
ridiculous.
Jet airliners. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And they got into drugs and it was just, they didn't know what to do with themselves. And so a lot of one of the guys, what was his name? There was one of their very first road crew members was a Vietnam vet, and he donated his disability. He took his disability check and just put it into the band when they first started. Like they had zero money. It was ridiculous, but they were like a little band of brothers. And all of a sudden they had all this money and they all went off the rails. Yeah. Including him. Like there's a lot of heroin addiction.
Yeah. I remember seeing images of Duane Allman looking pretty gaunt as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I don't think he was wearing Gucci, but he was looking pretty gaunt.
Like the fellas in Aerosmith.
Like those fellas, but
Yves Saint Laurent.
Yeah, and Yves Saint Laurent. Oh, yeah, but he says Gucci, right? Yves Saint Laurent, Gucci? Gucci, yeah, right, Gucci, yeah. It's just like, I hope I get the right designer in my reference. But yeah, it's that was pretty wild to hear about that too, about the bass player also passing in a motorcycle crash. Yeah.
Yeah. Greg Allman, the younger brother, died, liver cancer.
Yeah.
Butch Trucks, the drummer, when he was 69, shot himself. Like, damn. Just like I said, it's just a a band marred by tragedy.
Okay. Before we get into the album cover, okay, this kind of, when I heard about the accident, when I heard about some of the stuff, I was kind of like, isn't it a little offside to have a truck on the cover of this album? And I know that there were like rumors, like, it was lore, not really anything that it was, this is supposed to be the truck that killed, but so it's not. But I'm just still thinking, like, so it's a postcard. The guy who designed this went and he found a postcard from Georgia, and I think they originally wanted to call the album something Down in Dixie or something like
they
that.
grow them in Dixie or something.
Yeah, which was the name of the postcard company or somebody that designed them, and it's kind of cool actually, because the guy went and he got photos of the letters or something like that, or he took photos of the letters, drew them, took photos, and then incorporated them onto that. So it's a pretty cool story of how they made it. And but I just couldn't help but think, like, you're incorporating the Eat a Peach saying that they took, that that was Duane Allman's quote, and then you're putting it on the back of a truck. It does feel a little weird when I think about it and look at this. What say you around this?
There was a rumor saying that's why they did it.
Right.
But that's not true. I think that was predetermined. I think that was, I could be wrong about that, but I think the artwork was predetermined before Duane passed. Could be wrong, but yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? Right.
I know, but it just seems weird. It just does. I mean, because to your point, they had blown up after this, right? Or before this, right? So they were super popular. And and like we talk about, like, Zeppelin not putting their name on Led Zeppelin 4 and then being like, oh no. But the record company at this time said we could put this record in like a brown paper bag.
That's right.
And people would eat it up because it's the Allman Brothers. So
right.
I just, it's just interesting that they wouldn't even consider changing it or going a different route. I don't know.
That's a good point. I don't know enough about that aspect to comment, but it could have been. I don't know. I really don't know.
But see, that's the thing. That's the best thing about the internet and YouTube, Brent. You don't need to know anything to make a comment.
That's right.
You could come right out and be like, they did it to disparage his name, and it was.
That's right.
Damn it!
I'm triggered.
And I'm triggered. Damn it. See? Sorry, I brought that ethos into the air. I didn't mean to. Okay. No, I just wasn't sure what your thoughts were on that. Because, like I've said 300 times in the last 2 minutes, I just find it weird that they would find it okay to put a truck on the album cover. But anyways, do you want my assessment now? Do you want to hear what I think, or do you have anything else that we want to add to this? No. You sure? Okay.
Yeah. Right. Please go ahead.
3, 2, 1. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Okay. It was a good album. But yeah, I feel like I'm in the same camp as you. I'm not totally like in love with it, but it's good. It's good. There's some great moments on this, and those are the points that are really sticking out to me on the album. So
yeah, I think you and I would agree 100% on that. And you probably know a little bit about things like Ramblin' Man, that song Ramblin' Man.
Yep.
Their other hits, Whipping Post,
Midnight Rider.
Yep. Yeah, like that one especially, right? So in a band that had a lot of great moments, kind of spread across a couple of records, this was probably the best collection of as many of those moments as you could collect on a record, right? Because the other tunes were kind of scattered around. And so that's, I always think about when I'm bringing these records in, like, what is the best representation? And I think that this one was it for that reason.
This was nice because I feel like there was just an opportunity to really listen to them and take them in that recording studio setting. And I do love the combination. I know why they probably, I guess I don't know why, but I get that they put these live songs on because Dwayne passed and they didn't have time, any of their songs to put on or just to put on songs where Dwayne was playing on them. Well,
I think it was a combination of a lot of those things. So they wanted some semblance of him. I mean, like, he plays in some of the studio stuff too. But also, they were pretty hurt emotionally. So I think that they wanted to use a lot of that. And they also had a lot of material left over. Like, they had Mountain Jam, they had Trouble No More, they had Only Way Out, or One Way Out rather, left over. And like Mountain Jam is 33 minutes long, right? So this is funny to stream because you look at it and you say, okay, so this is 9 songs. So you say, okay, it's going to be, 45 minutes. It's not. The one song is like 33 minutes. And that, I think on the double album, it takes up like 2 sides, like side 2 and side 3 or whatever. So, it's kind of, that's what I mean. It's weird, but it's kind of essential. Like for me, and I said this before we started rolling, I skip Mountain Jam all the time. There's a funny, right?
I'm dodging the rocks being thrown at you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I'm with you.
Like, it's kind of.
I'm with you. I'm with you. When it first came on, I was like, 33. Is there a glitch on my phone that it's 33 minutes long and it's the 4th song on the album, or what's going on here? So
yeah. One of the reviewers, I think it was Christa, said no amount of tape is going to bring Dwayne back. So
yeah.
It's too much for me.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put any of them. The other 2 are okay. Trouble No More is pretty good. Mountain Jam.
This is, what? I love this, though. I actually love this. I get it. If you're going to create an album, you want to create a whole body of work or something like that, whatever. I'm not an artist. But I did love having some live tunes in the middle of this. I thought it was really cool to be able to listen to some studio songs, and then they put in a couple of live tracks, and then a couple more studio songs. I thought it was kind of neat. I thought it broke it up a little nicely. I thought it gave it a bit of a different feeling. It wasn't like, a whole, again, body where it was like this, that, and it's like, oh, all these songs come really well together. It was just kind of a cool experience to be able to listen to some studio stuff mixed in with live. So I did actually really like that aspect of this album.
It's interesting because I can't think of another record that puts live music right in the middle of it. Typically on albums, there'll be a couple of like live bonus tracks, right?
Yeah, right at the back, right?
I can't think of another that like inserts them right in the middle. So it's very interesting in that way. Yeah.
Throw them in the comments, Bobo Quisp. I know you've got an album that's got live songs in the middle of them. So throw them in there. Let us know. Make it be known. So, all right. Well, hey. We ain't wasting time no more. Let's get into the songs.
This is a fantastic, fantastic song. This is probably my second favorite Allman's tune.
Next to Midnight Rider?
Midnight Rider, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's funny. It's got that cool piano. It's almost like, it kind of reminds me of Peanuts. Do, 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 you know?
Yeah. This is a serious song, Brent. Okay?
I know.
Don't bring Peanuts into this song.
The music for the song was written a long time ago.
Oh.
Or not a long time ago, a long time before Dwayne passed. So the reason why I said that, it was written a long time before, I believe, before Dwayne passed, but then the lyrics were about his passing. They had the music on hand.
Oh, okay.
And Greg, immediately after he passed away, wrote the lyrics about how, death is imminent, but you have to enjoy every day.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great song.
Amazing.
Great song. Yeah. Yeah. Great guitar playing, even though it's not Dwayne, but everything comes together really well. Yeah. Yeah. I love the song. I love the piano. I love the piano in this. Yeah. I don't know. I got nothing really super deep about it. I just really, really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Favorite tune on the record for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I mean, the melody of it is fantastic. That's the thing they really do well. And in Melissa is another great sort of example of that in terms of melody, where they kind of go in a few different places that don't recur again. And there's some cool stuff on that in that song. And yeah, so they're really, he's really good at vocal melodies in a lot of their songs. So
certainly.
Yeah. Just real quick, you mentioned Peanuts, and since we're on the topic of having gutter minds in the gutter, my son is 3. He can't say penis, so he says my peanuts. He always so he's like, my peanuts. I'm like, what do you have peanuts? He goes, my peanuts. I'm like, what about your peanuts? And he points down. He's like, my peanuts.
Wow.
So anytime I hear peanuts, I'm like, ah, dang it. Get the mind out of the gutter. So
thanks for sharing that.
This is the internet. It is the show for sharing. Okay.
These are the moments that take the show to the next level. You see, it's that level of professionalism.
I think they interrupt the very great flow we have going. But sure, I'll take what you think. No problem. Takes it to the next level. Les Breurs in A minor.
Yeah.
Les Breurs in A minor. What is that about? What do these guys think they are? Huh?
Who's one of them? I think Dickie Betts said it. It's bad French for brothers. Something like, I don't know why they didn't. Yeah. It's supposed to be frères.
Frères, right.
Frère.
Les Breurs in A minor.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
9 minutes, 7 seconds. Instrumental.
Right. And unusual. Almost some jazz stuff happening in there.
So I think these first 3 songs, right, were recorded without Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't Wasting Time No More, Les Breurs, and Melissa.
Yes.
And so when I heard Les Breurs, I heard flashes of Jessica, which I know comes later on.
Mm-hmm.
And it made sense when I found out that it wasn't Dwayne playing the guitar, and it was who the other guitar player was.
Dickie Betts.
Dickie Betts, who would also write Jessica and play Jessica later on. So, yeah, this was okay. I think it's cool. I love the transition where they kind of have this neat little first part of the song, and then it gets into I think it's a really, really neat transition into it, but ultimately, yeah,
I know it's a bit long.
Yeah,
I'm not a big instrumental person, really. Especially on a record like this.
Right.
If it's maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, fine. But
Well, here may be another unpopular opinion of the band. The guitar soloing and the solos and things like that are a little ear piercy at time, a little too trebly, and and a lot of slide guitar. That's what they are. I get it, but there's a lot of times in this album I was like, you're playing too high for too long. Like I'm sorry if this is Dwayne. I don't mean to disparage the name either. I know a lot of people look up to him as a really great guitar player, but a lot of the solos and stuff like that, I was just kind of like, I don't know how on board I am with like being a big fan of his stuff.
Yeah, agree. I know what you mean.
Good. Yeah.
Oh no, so, I get it, and I'm sure other people would agree. Which
is interesting because he's held up there. I was talking to a friend of mine on the weekend about this album, and we were quite a few drinks deep, so I can't remember exactly everything that he said, but he was well, I can't even say that he was fan. I don't even want to say that he was. He likes the album. But he told me some stuff about Duane Allman that I wish I could remember because I think it made me appreciate it a little bit more. But I can't remember now, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's kind of what I found with some of this. But anyways, pretty good song.
Yeah,
Melissa is great.
Oh yeah, that is just a fantastic tune, and that was written by. No, you know what? That was another song. I think that was written in '67. Like it was, it was. Wow. It was. So the music was written by Greg Allman, and he kept it back because he thought it was too soft for the Allman sound. And so apparently, I don't know if this is true or not. I think it is. Apparently, his motivation was to hang on to it for a solo record that he envisioned that he would do, later on in his career. So he was just kind of hanging on to it. But then Duane loved it, and he played it for him, and he's like, "Yeah, this is fantastic." And he said, "I'm going to put this on the record, kind of as a tribute to Duane."
Yeah, I feel like Duane said this was one of his favorite songs. That Greg
it was his favorite Allman's too.
It was, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's great. Really trebly guitar, but it's I love it. I love it. When he kind of goes to that next level and gypsy roll on. Like all of that stuff is
that's what I mean about the importance of this record. Like this is revered ground. Like this is hallowed ground. This stuff, I love it. It's very, very important when you consider the entire pantheon of classic rock.
Don't call it Southern rock. They didn't like being called Southern rock. That's what I found out.
Is that true?
Yeah. They would have rather been called progressive rock and not be labeled as a Southern rock sound. Yeah.
Well, you know what? When you listen to these instrumentals and they kind of get going, especially in Brer, it's like they have a like I said, a jazz feel, and Butch Trucks was a great drummer and percussionist. Like he was just all over the kit. Kind of sounds like Ian Pace from Deep Purple during some periods of it. And they don't. You know what? Like musically, they don't always sound Southern.
No.
So I get that.
I agree. I feel like I only consider them Southern because every bit of imagery surrounding them is just Southern. I think that's part of the problem too, right? I mean, even documentaries about them, everything is like sepia toned, like, low contrast. Like it's all very Southern like feel, the look and things like that. And of course it's a lot of slide guitar. So it's just, you just marry those two together, but why can't you just look at it as rock and roll or,
Yeah. The vocal delivery too, obviously.
I mean, there's a lot of things that say Southern rock about the band, but don't call it that. Okay, so you would skip Mountain Jam.
I would, it's way too, 33 minutes, way too long.
You wouldn't even just put it on from time to time? There isn't anything about it that you like that you just be like, let's listen to the Mountain Jam?
It's just it's too much, I don't know. 33 minutes is a long time.
It is, but like if you listen on streaming, like you don't even have to switch the record. You can just listen to it straight. So even with that, you're okay. You don't want to listen to it?
No.
Yeah, there's some sour notes. There are some sour notes on this thing, and I'm all for like the live feel, but man, there were some moments on this song I was like,
I know.
I think that was wrong, but he ran with it and found his way back. And do they even have another version of this song, or is this the only version?
The story goes that on Fillmore, when you listen to the end of Fillmore, you can hear the beginning of this song. So the intention was to make sure they put it on the next record. That was the other reason why this is on here, because they loved it, but they were dissatisfied with the version the version that was used, because I think they wanted another version. But this wasn't the best performance by the band.
No.
So, yeah.
I didn't realize as well at the time I was listening to it that there were two drummers in the band. So when I listened to this song, I was listening to Dwayne's playing, and then like there's some great moments though in this song. There's some great moments from the guitar, some awesome moments from the bass, like near the 18-minute mark when it was the bass, Bill Oakley, whatever, comes in, Barry Oakley. He comes in, he's playing a great bass lick, and then between Trucks and JMO on the drums, it's like there's some really good moments in there. But as I was listening to it, I was like, oh, okay, there's not a lot of guitars. Like Dwayne's taking a heroin break, so he was probably just like, just a little tired from playing the guitar. And then I'm starting to think, like, I'm like, the drums have been going the entire time, like, and I've been listening to drummers a lot lately, and I'm like, the real heroes of this song are Trucks and JMO, because this this is insane. But at the time I thought it was only one drummer, so I was like, this guy has been killing himself for 30 minutes and like playing some pretty insane drum patterns.
See, based on what I said earlier in the show, you shouldn't say this guy has been killing himself.
This guy has been playing for a really long time on this track.
There you go.
And it was a Freudian slip that could have passed if you didn't address it.
I should have let it go.
You should have let it go.
I share the blame.
You did. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. There's been some things I've had to cut from the show. Anyways, when I found out it was two drummers, I wasn't any less impressed, but I just really felt like the drumming really carries this song. When you get the chance to listen to it again, or if anybody does listen to it and agrees, but I feel like the guitar playing and stuff is like really secondary on this song.
Yeah, agree.
So there you go. It's my long-winded rant about Mountain Jam. One Way Out.
It's almost as long as the song itself.
Stop. Almost.
Right, one way out.
One Way Out.
So this is Sonny Boy Williamson. One of the greats. Yeah,
that's right. And a couple other guys. There's a couple other guys on that song too, right?
Just going to pull it up
for a sec. Elmore James, Marshall Seahorn, and Sonny Boy Williams. That's right. Yeah. Killer. And so Mountain Jam was live at the Fillmore. One Way Out live at the Fillmore. They sound great live.
Yeah,
like these guys are tight. I mean, aside from what I said about Mountain Jam, when they're on, like when they're like locked in, these songs are fantastic live.
It's crisp. Yeah,
singing as well. Like everything is bang on.
Agree. Yeah, and Trumbull No More, the third live tune is that's Muddy Waters, I think. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let me just think. We're going to Muddy Waters.
That's my favorite of the three tunes, the live ones.
Yes, I agree. It's great. Eh? Like Muddy Waters, like there's some guys that do some great Muddy Waters tune. Don't get me to name them, but I know that I know that the Stones are big Muddy Waters fans, and they would cover his stuff.
Richards.
Yeah, a lot. So Yeah, great stuff. And that's kind of, when I think about playing the guitar myself and like wanting to go do like play live, I'm like, man, I want to learn some old blues stuff and do like my own thing with like, just take it. And I think some guys just do some great stuff with old blues tunes, making it their own. And it's
definitely,
yeah, it's cool. It's good.
That is definitely an underappreciated area. If you're a rock fan, I've said this a bunch of times on the show before, like go back and listen to all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then find the covers and like listen to how people have either, done it the same or have treated it a little differently, because I think there's some great covers that people do on their own. Black Crowes, right? Being like one of the best bands, I think, at taking a blues song and just making it, I wouldn't say better, great, but their own, and just adding another level to it. So it's been a lot of fun through this process as well. So like Humble Pie, right? They did some old blues songs. Like it's just been great to like find out that they're taking these songs, and because I mean, like when you think back to those, again, we've said it, Howlin' Wolves, Lightning Hopkins, Sonny Boy Williams, Robert Johnson's, like it's all like some of them got electric. Right, some of them did get electric. Albert King is another friggin' fantastic guitar player and singer. But like you think about some Robert Johnson stuff, it's all acoustic. A lot of that stuff's acoustic. So when these guys can take it and they make it electric and they turn it into something just bigger, that's really cool.
Yes, so. But the best thing about those recordings is that the production is awful, right? The sonics are not great, but you can feel the blood in the playing. It's so good.
They would press those in like with clay, right? They would press records with hard clay back in the day.
Yeah. Terrible.
Yeah.
Like terrible. I wish that I could go back. It's funny that if you could kind of, manipulate all the pieces and kind of like add great production. It doesn't have to be great. I would like to be raw, but like at the same time, a little bit more kind of listenable. I always think about the old Motown stuff, with Phil Spector and the Wall of Sound. Like Darlene Love had this great voice, but it never really was served, properly by the production in my mind. It was always very trebly and harsh. And you could just, she wanted to really let go, right? But like you could just see the needle redlining going like,
yeah.
And it kind of hurts your ears a little bit.
You got to draw back. Yeah.
But, Darlene Love in her prime with great production values, forget about it.
I thought you were going to say you would go back and turn the treble down on Eat a Peach, but that was a better story. Because I'd go back and turn the treble down.
I'd add a little bass for sure.
A little bass, bring up the low end a little bit. Stand Back. Stand Back's a good tune. I'm a big fan of this one. Like these next three songs are killer, are awesome, are great.
Yeah. This used to be an instrumental called The Road to Calico or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just like an instrumental piece I used to jam on all the time.
Greg's a great singer, man. His voice for this is just incredible. I love it.
Yeah. There's a great clip of him in the mid 70s doing like a solo thing, and he's just sitting on a stool with an acoustic playing, and he just looked really cool too. Like he had so much swagger. He's just like the coolest guy, right? And I think he's playing, I don't know, like something like Midnight Rider or something, and he's just like putting on a cool clinic. Like he's just amazing. Yeah.
Blue Sky, You're My Sunny Day.
See that you can hear Ramblin' Man in this.
Yes, right? Totally, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
And this was
you hear Jessica in it too.
Totally. Yeah.
That exactly. Song just keeps making a comeback for me. Yeah. Sorry, you go ahead.
No, this is about Dickie Betts. He didn't want to sing this either, but they convinced him because it was his song. They convinced him to sing it. It was about his Indigenous girlfriend who was from Canada, by the way. Her name was Sandy, and her Indigenous name was Blue Sky.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And he also said in an interview, I believe, he did not want to use genders. So we didn't want to use like his or her or she or he to make it more spiritual.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Interesting take.
Why is it that like everybody in a band could just friggin' sing? It's like, oh, come on, man, it's your song. You go sing. And it sounds great. No, I don't want to sing. And it just sounds awesome.
Yeah. But these guys back then could just feel it, you know, like they just had it in their blood. Like all of them did.
Yeah.
All these great bands like Skynyrd and the Allmans and like, they just had it, you know?
I know. It's just frustrating when it's like, oh, we'll get the bass player to sing a song. Well, he can sing too. Yeah. We can all sing. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You can't be in a band and play the bass and not be able to sing. Yeah.
Where did that changed around the 80s? I would say late 70s, 80s, right? Where, you know, because usually everybody in the band were you know,
take a verse or a song or something. Yeah.
And then it stopped around the 80s. There was like, you know, nobody wanted to sing even backups anymore. Yeah.
Little Martha.
Good way to close a record.
Brilliant way to close it. I'll tell you what. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Another unpopular opinion. Acoustic Duane Allman is better than electric Duane Allman.
No, that's I'm okay with that.
Nice. I love this playing, like, and I was like, where's more of this? I want more of this. How do I find it? Because this is just, it's so good. It's like Eddie on an acoustic, you know. It's like, why didn't they play more acoustic?
Yeah. Oh, I know. I love that stuff. Yeah, that's so true. Eh? It's like a little treat. It's like a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best part about this song, and like, you know, when you think about being the last album with Duane on it, is like his breathing. You could hear the breathing as he's playing the guitar.
It's true. That's a very good point.
Yeah. Just the closeness.
Yeah. One of the guys, not the producer, but a guy who was called in to do the mixing, I can't remember his name, said when he was mixing the record, it wasn't this song, but it was another one. I'm not sure which one. But he said, you know, there was a mix of like beauty and sadness because I knew that like this was Duane's last contribution. And like there was just this feeling of like sadness, you know. But when you listen to that, when you listen to Little Martha, you feel that because that was it.
Yeah.
Duane.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. This was the only song also, by the way, that was completely credited and solely credited to Duane Allman. The only Allman song ever that was completely his solely.
This is great. Yeah. I loved this. It's a great way to end it.
Yeah.
Loved every second of this song.
I wasn't sure if you're going to like this or not. I had to bring it in, but
yeah. Yeah. No, this was good. This is a 4. I'm giving it a 4. Get it a 4 out of 5. Solid 4. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
No 3.5s, no 3.7s. It's a 4. It's a 4. All right, man. We've hit our lick for peace.
Yes, we have. We ate a peach. Are you triggered?
Not at all. Nope.
Okay. So, what's next for you?
Yeah. You're taking on my lines tonight.
I am.
What's that? What's that? You just want to get on the action. I get it.
I do. Let's see. Okay. So, have you heard of Grand Funk Railroad? You probably know.
We're an American band.
And you probably know.
We're an American band.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I do. Yes, both. I do. Did you Some Kind of Wonderful?
Yeah.
Weird.
I really like both those songs. I those are skippers for me, like till I die.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
However, very important band.
Okay.
Before they were known as Grand Funk Railroad, They were simply called Grand Funk.
Hmm.
And their third record is called Closer to Home. And that's what we're going to be talking about next show.
Closer
next
to home.
episode. I was going to say next week.
Next week. No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Closer to
Great.
Home.
Closer to Home. Grand Funk.
Mm-hmm. This is
Cool.
one of my favorite records.
Really?
I listen to this a lot. Yeah. It
You
is
like currently
terrific.
still, or do
yeah.
you? Yeah.
Yeah. I listen to it down here in the, there's a decent system down here in the walls.
Yeah.
And I'll sit and position the chair, pour a bourbon, and turn it up.
No kidding. All right. I'm going to do it then. I'm going to get into the Jenny headspace for this one. And I mean, I don't have great speakers other than the headphones on my head, but I'm going to do it. Sit down with the bourbon. Turn it up.
Do it.
Turn it up. Cool. Great,
There you
man.
go.
Well, thanks. Thanks for thanks for it all, man.
It's always a pleasure, my friend.
Thanks for it all, man.
In the spirit of discovery.
Brother. Yeah. Love it. Okay. Well, we'll catch you guys back here for, and girls, everybody. We'll catch everyone back here for Grand Funk, Closer to Home. Nice.
All right.
Great. Cool. Cheers. Tom Petty. Out.